Ugh, yawning. You ever just ponder what you do with a day? Like you sleep for like half a day and you're just like, maybe I should do something, but then you get a headache because you slept so much. And then you have tomorrow, which is supposed to be like a hellish sort of day, and then just everything goes to shit. Welcome to my Tuesday. I hope you're having a great day. Um, so I went back to work today. It was an interesting time. As in, I thought I was going to be there for a very metric fuck long time and lots of stuff were going to happen. I pretty much did all my work within 2 hours and then just did nothing for 5. They're like, wow, you did great. I'm like, thanks. But like, I also feel like I did jack and shit. So. And then I slept. And then now we're here playing Pokemon Arceus. Not on a weekend. And also, I mean, we also did that yesterday. We played it on a Monday. But it felt like a Sunday. It was actually a Monday. So, before I run around, and I'm totally not stalling because I have dailies that I want to do. And while I could do them tomorrow morning, while I wait around for an hour and a half, figured I could just at least get the ball rolling in some before they hit their mark. I decided that we are going to finish up what the goal was from yesterday, try to do what I would believe to be like a 3-ish hour sort of stream of just catching the Pokemon I need to catch, getting more money for, well, everything, and then going from there. I do want to point out something that might have been seen just during the last stream yesterday, where I was like a bit concerned after seeing a traded Pokemon that just had a date that was wrong. I was under the impression, and it's because I'm going to be real, it's because I've been so out of the loop with how trading in Pokemon games are now, that I thought you can't trade if like the time didn't match up. But I think there's a different game that has that like criteria where if you like change the time, you can't trade with anybody, like you're just kind of locked out of it. And I attributed it to Pokemon. So when I saw that I got a Munchlax that was like 5 days into the future, I was like, oh. But then upon further research, it's just an incorrect, like setting the time incorrectly. Doesn't really change anything. And it was gotten through like a massive ass outbreak. I just get like, I know I have to be a little bit cautious just because there's a lot of bad actors on there who could technically trade like hacked Pokemon that just have stuff that they should not have. I think that's been a thing like in the past. I want to say during like my Sword and Shield run, that was a thing. But when it comes to Arceus, it seems like it's less so. It seems like it is just a lot of good intentions, which is baffling to me for a lot of reasons, but it is what it is. I'm appreciative of everyone who's like traded Pokemon to help with like all the shiny stuff. Obviously we've talked about the fact that High School Kit maybe used a certain third-party device for some DS games, but that was the past, and we will just capitalize on past mistakes on that, so I don't have to go insane. Now, I also want to start the stream, and once again, still not doing this to endlessly delay this. I totally am, but like that's fine. There's somebody I need on this list. There's somewhere. I'm positive there's somewhere. Oh, I think I already maxed him. I'm dumb. Anyway, there you are. What was I saying? Holy shit. When it comes to this whole plan of just getting shinies to do the Path of Solitude stuff. I want to like double down on the fact that the goal of this has never really been, but tweak. The goal of it has never been just to get like every single shiny, just to be like, haha, I did it, hooray! I'm a master and I have all the shinies. Because frankly, we're doing this to pass the time once again for that whatever it's called, the Path of Solitude. That's the big thing. That's like the total focus. This is just the side point for it. If I do any like true shiny hunts in the future, they'll definitely be more legitimate. But this is just more, let's just get them so that way we can just get this knocked off the list. It's not that impressive, and then we go from there. So, anywho. Should be more or less okay. There's still, I think I counted 31 shinies left to get, not including legendaries. Legendary ones we will worry about later. But I do actually have plans for it, believe it or not. So, what's with the dots? Just I'm monologuing before I stream because I have some stuff that I want to get done super, super quick. So if I'm just taking my time doing this, then perfect. Also, that should be everything. Oh, that really did take like 5 minutes, didn't it? 7 minutes. Okay, cool. All right, so we're starting off here in the Obsidian Fieldlands. I have split everything into a list for like which Pokemon we're looking for. It shouldn't be too difficult. So here we're looking for a female combi, a Cherubi, and a Happiny. Technically, we also could get Johto Sneasel, but I also just, that one's just going to be a pain in the butt. So we're just gonna, a little bit of a drop off right here, and go from there. Yeah, nothing. That's fine. Drake, if I recall you from way in the past, because I think you're around during the Splatoon days, you have a weird habit of just going into streams, saying random stuff, and expecting some sort of reaction, I think. But then, like, every time I think you've joined my stream, I could be wrong. It could be different. I could be misremembering, confusing with somebody else. But I'm pretty sure I've just never really acknowledged any of the random stuff that you say at all. It's mostly because it just doesn't add anything, nor like does it like start a conversation of some kind. It's just kind of there. So I don't know if I apologize for this of just not acknowledging any of it, but I feel like I gotta say something like, hey, you've been doing this for like years now. Maybe you don't need to just be random and just could talk in chat. I don't know. If I've learned anything as of recently when it comes to my streams, I've been less like, while random conversations are good and like topics are good to talk about, I've noticed that I'm very much like against the what would be known as like pure randomness. And I mean randomness at its like most pure form, as in like it doesn't start a conversation, it doesn't like add anything interesting, it just is words spat out and just there. And I think in the past during like Splatoon stuff, I'd give like a few of those, like be like, oh, I'm gonna feel inclusive and just like acknowledge them. But now I think it's gotten to the point where it's like it doesn't add anything, that I gotta just say something. We've talked about on the streams so far in the past, I don't think I've talked about it recently, of like general chat etiquette. Where I think I just hold my community to like a higher, what's the right word here? Higher standard, I think is the right way to put it, than most other like communities. Like if you come in here saying some dumb shit, I'm gonna call you out on your dumb shit. And if we don't see you again, like, cool, like no skin off my chest. But then you have other communities where somebody will say just some completely dumb or ridiculous shit, and then like try to incorporate it in a conversation or just try to make them feel included. And it's like, no, they're just saying dumb stuff just to get a reaction. Like, just move on. And it's this weird chat etiquette that I've talked about, where it's like, you gotta, if you're really gonna like watch like a streamer of some kind, right? If you're gonna watch a streamer and consume their content and chat in their chat, like there are probably some streamers out there who are completely fine with all like the random stuff that gets said, as long as it's going in their chat. Sick, we're getting the paycheck, as some would say. But when it comes to Skid Legion, I'm not a fan of it. When it comes to my chat, like, I just am very much like, if we're gonna chat and have a good time, I actually want the Sneasler one. That's fine, I don't care. I stopped caring the moment I thought about it some more. Breviary is pretty good. There are other snow treasures, so. But I just have this like weird, like my take on it is that if you're talking in somebody's chat and you're just saying random stuff just to get a reaction, you're probably not like wanting to be part of the community. You're just trying to get your usual fix of like a reaction and then just moving on from it. But then there are some people who, you know, that's their entire gist, is just being random in chats. And I'd never really got it. Oh, cool. We have now the first actual things matching. Hooray. I don't mean to like rain on people's parades. It's just, it's something that's like happened throughout my time streaming. It's just, that's what people will do. I'll be like, no. Plus, it's better, I think it's better to just have a conversation and a chat filled with people having conversation, not just with the streamer, but also with each other, than it is just talking for the sake of talking, you know? And that's kind of, maybe it's my own like preference for streams too, where like I dislike watching streamers who like, they'll just say things randomly at any given time. Like, it doesn't have any relation to the game, it doesn't have any relation to what's going on, it doesn't have any relation to topic. They'll just be like, Brussels sprouts, vegetables, fruit salad, the Wiggles. It's like, okay, what are we talking about? And yeah, there are some streamers who just say, I think they also just say buzzwords just to like get an idea, where they're like, yeah, if I say the buzzwords, YouTube's gonna love me. Okay, you know what, I'm just gonna buy everything, and then that way we can get our outfit for just moving on. We'll just do that first. Yeah, and there's some people who say like buzzwords just to like move things forward. And it's never appealed to me. Like I think it's just better to have a general conversation and chatting and just talking about whatever comes to mind. I will say though, with my experience, there is a sharp difference between conversing with like just yourself, where there's like nobody watching, conversing with 5 to 6 people, I would say, conversing with, I would say, about 20 people, and then conversing with 100 is where it like really stacks up. And then any more than 100, it's just irrelevant at that point because it's just the same thing. Like if you're talking with to yourself, you can talk about whatever's coming to your mind. You can say what's going through your mind and just talk. It's like you're talking to a mirror and just keeping that conversation going. When you're talking to 5 or 6 people, at least you're getting some responses, or there is at least a general topic that's being discussed. But then you get to like when you got about 20 people, and then it's just like, okay, what are we talking about that's like, what are we really talking about here? Is it like importance? Like now I'm trying to keep it, and like I'm talking with 20 people at once and we're all having like this discussion, and it's like a really big like conversation. Then you get to 100 people. And I've done this a few times. Splatoon streams have gotten to 100 before when I was purely YouTube. Some big DBD raids that have hit me way in the past, you know, they also, you know, we've seen that stuff, right? And for some, I think like getting to 100, they get super overwhelmed. They feel like they have to acknowledge every single person. And every person matters in that conversation. It's 100 people. It's like you're talking to a stage and trying to talk to everybody individually. Like, it's just not going to work. You are just going to get overwhelmed, and it's just not a good time. But if you just have just the open conversation, and like, if you see particular messages that you want to respond to, or like it's a question that like caught your eye, you can go with it. Because what you'll find is a lot of people will be saying the same thing over and over again, or like they'll be repeating what other people are saying. So you don't have to completely acknowledge everybody. You just have to acknowledge the people who are... Actually, I like the Pearl Clan outfit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, because if you had to talk to everybody, you'll realize that like 80% of the people are all saying the same thing, but then you have about 5 who are saying one thing, 5% saying one thing, and 15% probably saying something else. I've seen that with Dead by Daylight. I just have had jobs previously where I'm used to talking to a whole bunch of people all at once, and then also at the same time having to talk to people individually within that like conversation. I guess is the best way. And I've thought about it recently, especially like considering my whole streaming journey with how long it's been and everything that I've done. And just thinking about it all, like, I've really thought about this all, right? I've sat down and like pondered everything that I was thinking of. And well, one day I do hope to get back to like the 100. So like, I think that would be really cool. I think I've like, the best time I've preferred was talking to like 15 to 20 people all at once. And talking to yourself is not terrible. It's just, it's a certain skill that you have to get used to, that you have to build before you can get to like the bigger ones, right? And everyone handles it differently. Also, we have way more than enough money to buy all these outfits. So I think I'm going to go with the Pearl Clan outfit. I really liked how that looked. The Sinnoh outfit, I mean, it's whatever. Bandit outfit. Some interesting outfits here. Once again, I talked about this last time and I'll say it again. I just don't like shorts. I do have to calculate how much all this is. That's fine. Also, this is when we realize that I have not purchased a single one of these like full body outfits until this moment. Normally just mix and match the top and the pants, but as we were seeing here, I really think that the pearl or the diamond outfit is the best. As for her hair, that's not changing. Normally I like to wear hats. I did purchase some of the ninja attires. Okay. Alright, that is every piece of clothing purchased. Do you say anything cool that I purchased everything? Do visit? Miss. I've already did everything. Okay. Can't wear that. Nope. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Modern shoes. Zori sandals. We want purple. Sandals, meh. It's purple's amethyst. The snow boots. I do like the snow boots. The Pearl Clan boots, I think they're great. I think we can go with that. Color contacts. Perfect. We're just going to go full Pearl Clan. You know what? Works for me. Okay, something else I want to do. Gotta rush this guy. Would you like some candy? So this is what we're going to be using most of our money on. In case anyone's like, what are you doing? So those candies are exactly why we are doing this glitched sort of method. Because if we get this and use it on, say, our 69 Chimchar, we'll use one, getting a ridiculous amount of points. So I would like to get you to 80 if at all possible. One more. Yeah, we're just going to be using these to level up a lot of the time, as well as we need to get everyone's EVs maxed as best as we can. We could do 8. 8 should get us there. Okay, 8 was a little bit more. You, 6. Should have been 5. You are 6. Good enough. 6. And I think I'll give you all 7. Cool. So that's gonna be a lot of what we're doing today. Is we're gonna be catching a whole bunch of Pokemon in order to that point. Chimchar can go in here. Once again, we want to get everything to 80, but if we fail at one of these, then we can at least level them up higher. This Oshawott needs to be leveled up. Just double checking everybody just to be sure. Obviously the Eevee is not there. You can be leveled up some more. Pikachu. You just eat a bunch of rocks, my friend. You also do. And that's going to be another part that's going to be super long, is just getting everybody to their proper, not even to their levels, but getting all their IVs done. So we'll see how that ultimately goes. The goal, though, so once again, I'm not going to try to like get all of them taken care of right off the bat. The goal is to get these first 2 pages, like these first 60 done. The big ones are going to be the EVs and then the one route. those are the ones that we're mostly looking for, but also we're doing the grit glitch just to get as much money as we possibly can to get this at least all affordable. So we'll go there. I do have a list of everywhere we need to go. Cobalt Coastlands is currently our biggest one. Burmy Trash and Wormadam Trash, like you want. So I do have 83 Aguave berries, so I'm gonna, even though we're not really hurting when it comes to Aguave berries, I'm going to still, like, if they have it, we'll grab it. Here, okay, Basculin's a huge one. Same with Finian. So we'll just kind of focus those two and then go from there. Once again, trades though, they're always nice to have. So if anyone ends up trading to help us get closer to our goal, that's fine. What's brought up at the beginning of the stream and me just having to like stop and just like double check if everything was legit was being traded a Munchlax in the future from the future. Like I said, that was just dates being off, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm not super opposed to like how the shinies were gotten. As long as we get it, then the big thing is just catching enough to like level everything up. Which that then becomes the hard part because of how we want to go about things, but I do have a solution if we get all the shinies prior. And I think a few people would be pleased with my thought process on it. There is a Basculegion here. Yeah. Basculin's gonna be the hard one. I'm fully expecting it. Let me turn up the quick. Alright, Fidion is the other big one. Let's see. Nothing crazy. Finion's one of those Pokemon that we've really never seen too much of. No, we were given a golden one, but like Luminion is the one that we're also going for. I also don't know if any of the water Pokemon actually, I think they do have a chance. Yep, nothing there. So we'll just kind of go do our route. Because we're so close, the routes are going to start being a little bit more condensed than what you're used to seeing. Just because, like, I think it's just better if we do it this way. So it's going to be a lot of, in the Cobalt Coastlands, it's going to be a lot of going through the water. Taking a look at just all the various spots where, like, something can spawn. Finions and Luminions are going to be kind of along the right and left side respectively. Or mostly the right side whenever we're going to and from a place. Up here, there's Magikarp, but we don't care about. Up here will be Basculin. And we do want to approach these slowly, just in the rare case that one of these can be shiny. Here, you might be a little bit confused why we're going to be going around this area if we don't need any of these, specifically for shaking trees. Shaking trees for Burmese are huge, and we're really only going to be looking at the shaking trees in the Cobalt Coastlands and the Alabaster Icelands. There's also the potential for a Piplup shiny, which that could be that guy right there. I should double check to make sure there's no other Piplups. Nope. I know last time I streamed this game, aka yesterday, I did say that like, oh, I could maybe focus on getting some more like higher tiered shinies to like use as like bartering chips for other players. If the cheese ball situation was any indication, I don't think that really matters. Like, I think some people just really want particular Pokemon and they will do anything in their power to get there. So if it's just catching a bunch of cheese balls, then more power to you. If it's like somebody just really likes Carnivine, well, boy howdy, I have a bunch of Carnivine. I don't think, realistically, in any world, anyone is going to take the Staraptors that I have. And that is fine. Go swing by these islands because Shellos and Gastrodon, there are chances. Luminion. Shaking Tree. We always want to be checking these shaking trees, like I said, specifically for the Burmies and the Wormadams. Hi, Wormadam. Another crazy Shalfa that I feel like some people would try to go for, but I think it's just virtually insane. Shalfa, Wormadam, and Burmy. Like, I feel like that's pure insanity. So we talked about previously about like the whole space-time distortion shiny situation and how that's just probably not going to happen, which is why I'm getting those traded from like different games. But I was like thinking about it some more. I'm surprised, like most times when there's like I feel like there's a new Pokemon game or just like a new game from a big franchise, it usually gets like torn apart pretty quickly, like coding wise, just to figure out the sequence and figure out the best way to handle things. And I feel like it wasn't the case for Legends Arceus. I could be wrong. I feel like there are some ways on how Arceus could go to like give players like a better chance at some specifics. I still think that there's a way that you probably could get space-time distortions to spawn. Like there might be like a consistent place if it's pure RNG. Well, that sucks, but it is what it is. But I also think that there's a way of like playing essentially the shiny lotto with like Burmy. But once again, it could have already been looked at, and there's just no way. It's hard to really say. Now, something else I could be checking is that there should be some shaking trees over to the right here. I was considering those at some point. I think it's like right here because then it turns into Quillfish instead of Remoraid. So we already have Quillfish maxed, so really out of all the Pokemon that we still need to get, I do think that the hardest one is going to be Basculin and Basculegion. Because I still haven't looked up, like I will probably sometime this stream, knowing how it's gonna go, but this is an Apom tree, right? I always gotta double check. I thought I saw somewhere that somewhere in this game there's 3 different types of Basculegion. I wonder if it might be referring to the one that you ride. Maybe that might be it. Could be. That's a big one. Now, this is the point where normally I would go back and turn stuff in. However, wolf woofs are still a thing. So I need to see. Usually anywhere from like 3 to 5 wolf woofs to check. Also, this just entire stretch, for some reason, the Cobalt Coastlands, I feel like has like the highest shiny chance. Just feels weird. I think I have a second shiny Arcanine, don't I? Ah, an Alpha Wolf Woof. Very strong. Good job, buddy. And there might be like one more shaking tree out here. But if we're gonna find that last wolf, it'll be out here. And it's raining, so unlikely. Now, normally if we're not just going for the shinies and just catching everything, we'd be also closer to our goal of just getting like as much money as possible, but hello. Return to the village. I also messaged Sparks earlier being like, hey buddy, want to catch some of the stuff that I'm missing? Go. Stuff that thing. They're like, no. I'm like, okay. Coronado Highlands, there's really not too much here. We're looking for Rowlet and Rotom specifically, but there could be some others. This is going to be our chance of just getting a whole bunch of fruit. Not bad. We're probably just going to go take our normal route. I'm surprised no Rowlets, but that's okay. Alright, so normal route, just to take a look. I'm going to save here. There is a chance this could turn to permutation. Because we're at the end of our, like, journey, I was considering just, like, getting as many as I possibly can, like, doing the permutations if it becomes viable. I think I'm still gonna just stick that with Rotom. It really just depends on what happens. Funny enough, when I was trading Nikita for stuff, they did have a shiny nose pass, which I was like, oh, wait, I can trade you for that. Take back my Rufflet. But that did not happen, so. Alright, what do we got? Probopass. We'll still catch these. And the reason why is just because we still need these for money stuff. Well, I'm at it. We're just gonna go this way. Okay. Once again, gonna be looking for more trees. Just the mix of the weather and mostly the weather. Getting my allergies all like crazy. Hello, Bronzor. How is it up here? This is fine. Excuse me. What's with the whole cuddle pile over here? Buddy. What's with the cuddle pile? I expect this from some PC game stuff, but not this. We're getting a lot of agua berries. And I need Guava berries for what we're doing. I don't know how much specifically I need, but since we're just kind of going through the motions, technically this one's going to be the next one that we get. Reason for that is we're going to go here, down. That, for a second, looked like it could have been a, it could have been a shiny Gibble. Kind of a hot commodity, but not really. You can get Gibble pretty easily. Nose pass. And once again, shaking trees are going to be huge, specifically because Cherim can be gotten. Problem is, we have not seen any. I also don't know if Rotom... Before I catch all y'all, I don't remember if Rotom does show up in the morning or not, or in the daylight. Just go over here and just take a look. Bronzor. Looking like a no. This is another place that we do want to check at nighttime. Because at nighttime, not only is Mischievous over there, which we don't need, but there's also Rotoms. And Rotoms spawn in a few different areas, so terrible. Stuff. This is what we call a professional Arceus player. Gloves. We might be able to make it to Mime Jr. It's possible. Okay, down here, so Magnezone, it's an option, but nope. Basculin, funny enough, is here. You don't want to make the Basculin freak out too much. These could also be Sandy Wormies. Wormadams, excuse me. Like, that is just another possibility. We already have both of those, so if we do find them, not the end of the world, because there is a likelihood that somebody needs a shiny Burmy or Wormadam that's sand. I don't have all of the Cherubi and Cherim trees memorized. But Coronado Highlands also is the one that has like some of the most shinies we need from Space-Time Distortions. And as I've said previously, I might just get those. I will just get those in Scarlet and Violet. It's just gonna be easier. The computer made a noise that was like not happy. Give me your berries. Next area is going to be down here. These are very likely Burmy trees or Heracross trees. Shiny Heracross is not the worst thing. Once again, good trading material. There's some Pokemon that I would see that I'm like, okay, if I get a shiny of this, that would be an amazing, like that would be really good for potential trades with anybody who wants to. But then there's other ones that I'm like, yes, I have more Starlies than I know what to do with. There's Cherim. You're gonna brighten up. It's so happy. It's just happy to exist. Cherubi and Cherim, I don't know if they get used in like competitive or anything like that. What is it? Is it Platinum? I think that's the game where they first show up in. Or sorry, Diamond and Pearl, and then Platinum. I kind of always wanted to use one on a team. But I do also remember them being so ridiculous to get that's like... there's also some Goomies that could be up here. We do need one more. So far, a bit of a droughtful early day. That's Clover, I think is her name. I don't remember. Is Coin's the snobby. You're probably a Heracross. I feel like it's bad that I start remembering what comes out of each tree. I haven't looked at like a map or anything for them. I just know that that's there. Kind of tells you to the point, it's like, hey, you might be playing this game quite a bit. But hey, once we're done with this, then we're done. I don't have to worry about coming back to this unless I decide to do some ridiculous challenge run that no one should ever do. Okay. I think we're good. Still are catching quite a bit. It's actually good that I catch the berry holders, because that way we at least get more Pokemon to release when we get to the box method stuff. Or are those mass outbreaks? Frankly, so this is a point where we want to save. And the reason why we want to save is just because we do want to check out both of them just to see what chances we have. If there's 2 or more in the first area, then we're going to just stick here. If there's only 1, we'll still check it out just in case. But if we need to reload, we'll reload. Nothing. It would just be the Shellos. That is not what we... Hi. How's the second area looking? If you're out there... Hi, I know I'm wearing the Pearl Clan stuff, but you can still help me out. Okay. Wow, this is actually crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go top to bottom. We got 2 Rotom outbreaks. If they do turn into Deshalfa land, then we have our shiny for today. That is actually huge. And we got a Rowlet. 2 of them. That's crazy. Okay. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. Luckily, mass outbreaks, usually they can go pretty well. Sometimes they don't. Interesting. This is hard to see, friend. That's crazy. Can one of you be gold? This is a tenor. This is 1000% a tenor. Just flew to the moon. It's gonna be hell in the eyes, though. This is one of those. This is most definitely a tenor. I kind of don't want you to be. Big boom. Okay, cool. I'm actually okay with that. Also did say that we can wait till nighttime just to check if there's more rotoms. Frankly, I just straight up forgot that that was something that I could do. So we're just gonna go down this way. I want to see if, like, I might just want to do that at night. You found the Pokemon that was reported crazy. I did save, so we can just go straight here if need be. Oh, listen here. Oh, God. Ow. This one looks like an 8. Ow. Please stop. This is just going crazy. None of them want to be caught. Oh, my brain feels like it's getting scrambled. Don't you dare. Permutation. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for everyone's favorite. Kit's gonna permutate the Rotoms. Alright, does it go to 6? Is that what we're looking at here? Let's go. Alright, well, it's time for get shelters. Oh. Please stop. 7? We're gonna be here for a while if I do this. I am gonna go book it to the Rowlet. So here's the thing. Permutations would be great. However, also technically have limited time today. And I don't want to spend this entire stream just doing a permutation for a Rotom. That's because that's easily going to take 2 hours if we're not lucky. I'd rather just do this. At least we'll probably find something at some point. I just don't want to be over there. It's like, cool, bunch of those, but I think it's just better if I just do the loops. We could permutate the Rotom. We did that previously. I frankly just don't have any interest right now. So far, nothing exciting yet today, but hey. Always, I just realized there's 2 Magna Zones. Interesting. Ooh, hello. You are actually a Nosepass. You're not gold, but you're still a Nosepass. I like how he looks more shocked than she looks more shocked. Looks more shocked? Hi. Nice to see that you're here. Ruby's just happy to be here. I thought I saw this tree shake, and I did not. Whee! Meanwhile, we're just going to ignore the fact that there's a bunch of Alpha Rotoms just right there. The fact, like, I'm pretty sure, like, out of everything that we've seen, we've, like, evolved a fair bit of Pokemon, yeah. You don't see shit. Why was that actually so much easier? Copy. Was so couldn't catch me with the Master Ball. You call me Master Stripes. I've been listening to the Pokemon site for 2013 again. You got me. You caught me. It's just so interesting to me. There's another shaking tree behind it. That's funny. Hour in, nothing. Hey, I mean, some days you're gonna have lulls, some days you're not. Catching a whole lot though, which is good. Cheer him. I mean, we could have gotten one by just doing the permutations, but like I said, I didn't care. Okay, so since it's nighttime, and I think it's just better if we do this, I want to run all the way down here. Part of me is thinking maybe I should just constantly be doing this at nighttime. Because there could be Rotoms as far as down here. And then we go back. That's fine. As you can see, there's the Mischievouses. And no Rotom. What have we still got? Gumi. It'd be really sad if one of today we like find that it's a Goodra. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine. Hello, Hippopotas. You're always alpha. I also like running down here specifically because if we just see another Chimecho or a Felix, like, once again, value. Want to get the value. Interesting. We did get the 5-minute. That was not expected. That tree is shaking up there. One of you two shaking. It's you! It's a Cherim! But it's not what we're looking... Well, I mean, it is what we're looking for. It's just not what we want. I should really see what the rewards we get for the Path of Solitude are, because I've not actually looked. I've just kind of... like, I'll get to it. Teresa. Also one we need to get. Didn't put it on this list, but we do need it. I do need to get an Ursaluna. The thing is, once we start going down here, I think there's just a significantly... You're still there. There's just a significantly lesser chance that we're going to find like what we're looking for in the trees. Because I think once you start getting down here, you're looking at Heracross and Burmese and Wormadams. I still think it's worth checking. I think I saw that tree shake in the distance. Oh. Alright. Space-time distortion. Okay, so there's the 3 normal spawns. I guess there's also, like, evolutions. I can also just take this time just to grab more. See, there's a Rotom. Son of a bitch. Where is... Oh, there really is not that many grass spots to hide. I mean, it's better than the fucking rock area. That's better. There's just some, like, strewn out about stuff. So, cool. Well, while we wait. I mean, who knows? We might get something good. Choose to. Yo, so for Persona 5X, I'm so close to dating Yowling in that game. I'm so close. I wanted to try to push it for today. I just didn't have enough. I didn't have enough yen. This is the one game I'm like out of yen. So I couldn't actually like get what I wanted. I still need to finish the event. Like that's a big thing. And then I also need to do my companion stuff. I got 0. What other goals do I need? Gates of the Nightmare Catcher. Isn't that? Yeah, that's this. Okay. What is your gist? I wonder if there's... hold on. We're going to go here. Move this over here. I don't need that actually anymore. Persona 5, the Phantom X. Gates of the Night. Just want to see if somebody is like, I know what the thing is. Active and pass. No. Interesting. Hi. See, look at that little guy. Not worth shit. That's 2. Number 3. I don't really care about the artillery. The tricks. Awesome. So our answer for today is nothing. Still potentials for EVs. I think they could become Jolteons here. So we are looking for 4 more EVs. I can't believe I was correct. I only caught one of them. Don't you fucking dare. Ow. There's an Eevee. There's an Eevee. And we'll catch the Magmar. Dude, that Octilleries just can't be caught. I'd be sick if I catch like a shiny Jolteon here. I'd be sick. It's another one off our list. Doo-doo-doo-doo. The rest of these, not even interested. Palm? Crazy. Y'all don't see shit. I see you got hands. Okay. You just ran into a tree. You are a Magmar. That was insane. That was such a good throw, and it just didn't pay off. Please don't. Please don't. Dude, I don't know what's going on with Octillery. I just can't catch them. They're impossible. You don't see shit. With your butt-ass eyebrows. That's right. Congratulations, you're getting banned specifically... while I'm trying to catch these. You know what sucks? Is when you see like those like chatbots when you're in whatever it's called, when you're on Twitch, and it looks like it's somebody who just lost their account because they were an idiot. No, you're a dick. These Rapions get fucked on, idiots. That was past, you don't see shit. Okay. You saw nothing. $50 Pokemon. We're actually getting pretty close to maxing out those boxes, so we can do our doohickey. I just gotta remember how to do the glitch. I did it once. Foxy! How are you? How's life? How's the fantasies of final? How's everybody? I haven't talked to Tia in a hot second, I just realized. I only really like sometimes talk with like you and Iconis. And then feel bad that I don't. Yeah. The beach episode events. Damn. Damn, this is terrible. Oh, that's fine. There's so much to play and so much I gotta do. Wish I had time for everything. Best streaming going, so you've been getting back in the swing of things. Yeah, I mean, when you're at a job that really is just kicking your butt 3 ways to Sunday, you kind of just roll with the punches nowadays, is what I've learned. This has turned insane. No. Can't believe I missed the Elekid, but I got the Electabuzz. Oh, crazy. Yeah, no, with work being insane. I haven't even talked about work today. I usually like talking about work today because it just shows how, like, the crazy life is. Literally worked for, like, did 2 hours of work, and then the rest of the shift was just me doing nothing. And it was just lame as fuck. But then get this, so I clocked out at 2:20 today, and like I was stuck in as a third wheel in a conversation that like I had to wait till the end of because my boss had like some extra stuff she wanted to talk to me about, just regarding like getting some like extra work done that I already did. So like I'm on top of my game. I'm like doing great when it comes to the work that they have, even though things are just going downhill. But I had to wait, like, what, clocked out? I think I clocked out at 2:30, but then I didn't leave until 3:10 because I was just standing there, like, waiting for the conversation to end. And it was the most, like, awkward thing because I had nothing to interject. Like, nothing. The only thing I had to interject was I got confused because part of the conversation started them talking about like a variety of like shops that exist around here, and I have been to those type of shops before, but like I think they said the wrong name of the store and it just confused everybody involved in that conversation. But yeah, no, it's rough. But yeah, as far as streaming going though, like I have been getting back in the swing of things. I don't remember if I've alluded to this as of like yesterday. I know I talked with some people about it yesterday, but I don't know if like I actually said it on stream. I might be going more so to like doing like full PNG tubing stuff. That's not just the surprise cat face in the corner. I just full send. I just am not happy with how I look, like at all. And like, it's not like, oh, like shaving and cutting my hair is gonna like change any of it. Like, I don't know what I want to style it as. I don't know if I want to just shave and just be like clean shaven moving forward, or if I just want to keep the facial hair, or like what. Like, I really don't know. That's an alpha Burmy. And just being on camera, I just don't have the confidence to be on camera anymore. So I pretty much switched to just keeping the Nyani up there. But I need to talk to Le Powers of Assistance to see if I can commission like something. I don't want to do full VTubing though. Like, I've talked about my lack of interest in that sort of stuff. It just doesn't feel right to me. But at least like having a picture on screen, at least there's like something there. It is really accessible, and I did it in the past with really enough the thumbnail for YouTube, the picture with me when I had blue hair. There's two versions of that I can actually use to do for PNG tubing, But one, my hair's not blue anymore, so I'd still want it to be like somewhat close to what I was like looking like. But even still, like I want to just change how that looks because I think it's just better. I think in the past, like I used to be like super confident with how I look and just be like, I don't care like if I'm like fat or anything. Like I just, whatever. I'm just gonna do my own thing and don't care like how I look. And after a long series of stuff happening, that confidence is just out the window. So we'll see what ultimately ends up happening. The thing is, and this is the problem, right? Is there are so many like visual novels and like so many different games that I do want to stream that there would need to be like some sort of reaction to some of the stuff that's happening. Like there's a game that I wanted to play that's on my list right now, Fatal 12, which is like another death game visual novel. And there's gonna be a lot of like shocking stuff in that, right? And that's more so warranted. Like you can express shock in your voice, sure, but I think it's more so warranted for like actually seeing the actual like the shock in your eyes, like the open jaw of like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy, like that sort of stuff, right? PNG tubing, all of a sudden you just hear the volume go up slightly and you just see the the image. There are like, I will concede this as well, there are various ways to like have different like, what is it, different emotions for PNG tubing, but I don't know how exactly that all works. So yeah, I think until I can figure out what I want my style to be when I'm like with how I look in real life, I don't think I want to be so much on camera until I figure that out. Like I get my hair being long and everything and like having it very long in the front. But I feel like there's a better way to style it and I don't know what that would be. Save before we do this. Also need to talk to our bag person. Yeah, there's so much I want to do, so much I want to get to. There's a lot. That is a faux show. Interesting. 3 or 5? Huh. I don't need to go for the berries first, so I guess we can go for the sligoos. Because weirdly enough, like sligoo is actually what I need. I don't entirely need... We don't need to check the trees here. I don't believe there's anything important in them. So, hello. No. These guys are docile, right? I think they are. Now the problem is going to be when the Goodras show up. Once the Goodras show up, that's when things start hitting the fan. Oop, hello. No. I'm dying. But Foxy, what have you been up to? Just more Final Fantasy or anything else exciting going on in the life of the Foxy? Made it out. Started poking some Titan Quest 2, though that's in early access. Titan Quest 2. Interesting. Well, I hope that's all been going well for you. Those are a lot of Gudras, and I'm not super interested in grabbing them. Nice. One day I will return, I swear. Oh, shoot. You're a boy. Alright, one of you should be green, I hope. No, don't drown yourself. You have so much to live for. I keep telling myself, like, I'll go back soon, I'll go back soon. And then, like, I look at the list of, like, stuff that Neko and I are, like, trying to get accomplished and, like, taken care of. And I'm like, I gotta focus on all of this first. And then I should hopefully have the time. It's like one of those things. One of you should be gold, please. One of you should be gold. They're just rolling away. Please don't. You're a dick. He's getting through Endwalker. Nice. I was about to say, there should be a Sliggoo around here. Level 100 now? Nice. At least he's not being like me and getting things level 100, you know, prior to, Heaven Sword. What are you doing up here, friend? Dungeon. At least he's not like that guy who took a thing to max level with only the second level 15 dungeon. Is that a jab at me, or did somebody else do that? Have I been outdone already? This is a real person who did this? I've been outdone? Dang. Video all prepared. I wish I got my entire recording setup all taken care of, like by the time I was streaming Final Fantasy XIV, because oh, that would have been great if I had all that footage to do like the true like I got a Dragoon to level 100 without leaving a Realm Reborn. It's a terrible idea. That Gengar just spawned at the worst time. We're doing comparable mines. Why would you do that? Like, I know I'm an idiot, but like, that's just super idiot. I kind of want to get these Gudras. That was the original plan. But like once again, there's a whole like I have that sort of like mindset for like a few other games. Like there I did have a serious idea of like I did this is why you should too, or I did this is why you shouldn't do it. Like I'm kind of been thinking for like this game, the way I'm going about it, right? Because this is all for like some post game content that I'm going to today. This is unfortunate. Don't turn around, please. I'm going to die in mysterious ways. You're just a tail. Okay. That's fine. Nope, nope. But like the Path of Solitude, like I was saying, like I would more so do like for the Path of Solitude in this game, I complete the Path of Solitude, and this is why you should do it. But the thing is, since I did this, I'm gonna be doing this with all shinies. Like I could just make the world's longest title and be like, I completed the Path of Solitude with shiny Pokemon. And this is why you kinda should do it. Like no, I've never been good with like video titles. But like with this game, because I was looking into more of like the way things go for the Path of Solitude, the post game that I'm inevitably grinding for, which is why we're doing all the shiny Pokemon stuff, just to see where else do I need to go. The best Bitcoin. Okay, yeah, there's only a few other places I need to go. So I need to go down here. But I think the Path of Solitude in this game is great, specifically for like understanding how to do like higher level of Pokemon battling, because there are puzzles at the end of the day, but like you shouldn't look up like the solution, but like people could use probably the video I'm making as like a help for the solution, but they really should just be like, you should just experience this for yourself, go through it, and like have an idea of like write down what the Pokemon does, and then figure out how you can use that one Pokemon to beat them. I think that would be so cool. Well, I mean, it's in this game, so it's cool. But I'd also don't want to be like, here's all the solutions, which I'm going to probably inevitably do anyway. So, with like Final Fantasy, I soloed the entirety of the Palace of the Dead, I think is what it's called. And this is why you shouldn't do that. I lost my mind. Everyone was telling me it couldn't be done, that I was a fool for being new to the game and thinking I could do it. Then I did it. I did everything you could as a Dragoon in A Realm Reborn while hitting level 100, and here's why you should do that too. That would actually be funny. Like, I think back of like the Final Fantasy 14 time. Oh, I think about it so fondly. My homie back though. I'm sorry. Once I'm back on my feet on stuff, I will come back. Like I do want to play Final Fantasy 14 again. I do want to try to get Cubed, also replay the game again. And I do want to see like the rest of the story and getting through it. I really, really do. And I will grind relics and like slave away at it. The problem is I just, one, I need time, and two, I just need to not be in like a terrible headspace because of all my work stress that keeps happening. Like that is the big thing bogging me down. I am looking for another job, but like I feel like I'm just going to be running in circles at that point. That's why the video idea stuff is really important to me. So I miss you too. I miss Iconis. I miss Truck. I miss Tia. I haven't talked to Tia in like a hot second. Sock, I do miss a little bit too. I don't know where Sock has gone. I think they've like vanished for all I've known. All y'all I miss. Plans to like expand the everything. It was gonna be great. Okay. There are 5 birds. There are 5 birds in the same lineage. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds. I've never seen that many birds. Nice. The 3 left. Sick. Trust me, there's a lot of plans that are in the works right now to like get things moving. So there is, I gotta look into this game more because I feel like I'm gonna get hella stressed, which is why I've been unfortunately denying Neko me playing the game. So Neko on her stream has been playing a game called Potion Shop Simulator, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You're running a potion shop and you're trying to make like as much money as you possibly can, right? Just making potions. But it seems to have the same sort of system that like Potionomics does, with combining various ingredients and making sure they have like specific amounts to sell. But in a 3D landscape, like, I don't know why, that feels like so... It looks so much more stressful than I feel like it is. But I know she wants me to play it because I have to... This sucks. Because there's like co-op achievements. Which I'm like, yeah, you know, I can help out. But the more I'm like thinking about it, the more I'm like, man, this game looks just super stressful. I do have to go back and play Potionomics too. And I gotta play all the different Final Fantasy games like I said I was going to. Oh, there's so much to do. I do have everything scheduled out though. Like today, normally Tuesdays would be like a day with like Doge or like the Caboodle, but Doge couldn't show up today, and I also put a stop on it because I have to be up early for work tomorrow. However, tomorrow, so tomorrow I only work, technically I work from like 6 to 1, but I'm literally just not doing anything the entire day. So because I'm not really doing anything the entire day, I'm gonna work on some like script idea stuff so that way I can get the ball rolling, and then that way when I come home tomorrow before I stream, I really want to get another script done. I have to wait for Neko to finish editing the first one, but at least if I can get the second one rolling, then I can at least get the ball rolling there. Problem is I'm broke, so I need to hopefully be able to get people paid when I can. But I should be doing, I think, 2 streams tomorrow. And then Thursday, I believe we're playing... I think Thursday is Danganronpa? I think? I have to double check with the group on that one. Friday, there should be 2 streams. And then Saturday... I don't know how I feel about Saturday. And like, I don't know how much of Saturday I can talk about. Because, like... I think it's public knowledge, as public as like the company is at least. Um, for a second, you looked different, and I was really concerned. I so apparently, and this is a very much an apparently like sort of situation because I still don't know too much about it. I think I have a general gist, but I'm also like unsure. So I'm gonna try to say this right as I can. Apparently, once a year, the big entire corporation that I work for does like essentially a day that's just like doing like free work for people who really can't afford it and like need like they're at least like reliable enough that they want to get stuff done. They paid like a little bit, but like we do some work for free for them. It's a really cool cause. It's a really nice thing to do. And I'm not like dissing the day at all, like of what it is. I think it's amazing that they like actually put aside funds to like do this sort of stuff. And there's like other like companies that get involved into it. It's really really cool. Um the day itself and the idea behind it, really cool, really nice, completely on board. Working supposedly for free for 6 hours, a little less fun. It sounds like we're not getting paid, like we're just doing this out of the kindness of our hearts, which okay, I'm a little greedy in this aspect because I have a whole bunch of other stuff I like to get done, so I want to make sure my time's worth it. That being said, I don't think I'm getting paid for it. Though, in fairness to the company, and I don't like saying that, but like in fairness to them, all I'm doing is sitting at a desk, having whoever gets like selected for this thing sign like 3 papers, and then I sit and do nothing for the next 2 hours, and then I have to do it again, and then do it one more time. So like, I'm not doing anything. Like for the people who are involved and helping out and everything, yeah, they're super super involved. Cool, I get that, but I'm literally just not doing anything. I don't know, it's a cool cause. I just also like, listen, I'm an idiot with money and stuff, and I got some, like if I'm working, like to make sure I get compensated. I know some other people like to do that too, so I don't know, I've never been to that sort of stuff. But Saturday I will be still doing like 2 streams is what the plan is. It's just gonna be later on in the day because my morning is gonna be just me doing nothing. But it gives me more time to work on like scripts and all that sort of stuff. Like, I think the idea that I was told, and like this actually makes more sense to me, is that while I am like having people like sign in, sign out, and all that sort of stuff for what's being done, the interim while they're getting the work done, I don't have to like do any actual work. Because if I'm not getting like paid for it, like I don't have to do any of the other stuff that I need to get done, right? So in that aspect, I'm like, oh, okay, so like I could probably just check somebody in, and then for like the next 2 hours, I could just be on my phone or like work on script stuff or work on like various ideas, and then check them out, check the next person in, and then just rinse repeat for the 6 hours that it's happening. Okay, I want to get this one out of the way. Yeah. And then I also actually work the next Saturday afterwards. Which that one I'm a little bit more like, nah. Alright. I'll be there. It's kind of like look dejectedly. I do have Tuesday off though, so that'll be good. I don't know what my path is for this. Because we're looking for... surprisingly enough, we're looking for, like, Sweenubs. And the Basculin. I mean, there's this guy who spawns. Yeah, there's that Mamoswine. I don't know where... Hold on, I need to do some exploring here, because I'm not too familiar with, like, the northern area of this Alabaster Islands place. I think Sweenub might be here, just, like, overall. Okay, yeah, so it's to the right here. So I probably just want to hang right, go down, check the Basculin, and then go elsewhere. That's what I'm assuming. Now this is actually something to be expected, because even though we've gone like almost 2 hours without any like progress or anything on like the shiny aspect stuff, keep in mind I'm only really looking for like a handful, and as a result it means that I'm just going to be shortening my like routes. So rather than getting a whole bunch of duplicates, I can actually just do this and then we're good to go. This might just be the day where we just do the duplicate stuff and then go from there. Because I think the harder part of all this is actually getting everything to everybody to level 80 plus than it is grinding the dust. Because grinding the dust is actually super easy. I just have to put in the time and the effort to do that. Actually, let me think about this for a second, because I kind of need somebody who's played Scarlet and Violet to answer some questions. Which I know of, like, Derpleton's, obviously. Sparks. War. I know everyone's like busy from today. Because I'm wondering, obviously I'm doing all this stuff with like the grit dust and whatnot. I wonder if Scarlet and Violet has a better way to raise those EV levels. I don't know why I'm thinking about this now. This probably should have been something that I thought of a long while ago. Just like pondering it. Okay. This is gonna sound insane. I'm actually gonna go check the combis. Because if we get Vespiquen, then everything is fine. That's actually okay. If we actually can get Vespiquen, we get a female combi. Then we're set. If we don't, then we can cry ourselves to sleep. Hello, unknown. That's something else to consider, is trying to get every single unknown letter shiny. That sounds like a headache. There's barboach in this part of the river? What? You hate unknown so much? That's fair, Sonny. Also, welcome to the stream. How's it going? You did say yesterday you have 24 out of 26 of them. So, like, I'm guessing you went to the ruins, back out, and just kind of went from there. But no. 26 out of 28. I feel like there's probably a better way to find barboach, but it's okay. Taking a break for now. What's your method of hunting them down, if you don't mind me asking? Because it is something that I have thought about. I do have 2 shiny unknowns. Unfortunately, they're the same letter. Back and forth. So when you say back and forth, like just going into the ruins, then going to Jubilife, and then back into the ruins, and then back to Jubilife. Yeah, that checks out. I was doing that for a moment, because like that is just a legitimate way to grind it. I imagine you probably got quite a few duplicates, though. Green. Oh, right now you're doing the Shalfa Ninetails hunt. I could have permutation did the, we talked about this earlier. Could have done that for a Rotom today. I hate the fog. In fact, I'm going up here. Turbine Gas, lose some Cricket Cricketune. Yeah, I'll do it. Oh, yep. Okay. I can't see anything. Where are these fucking bees? Are they just up here? They are. No way. You're just... Ow. I didn't think these bees would be aggressive. This must be a good sign. A lot of dupes. Well, if you need somebody to give them to, I know a guy named Katafi. As long as it's no more of the letter H, we're fine. Well, that was lackluster. The problem is I don't have any Shalfas, really, so... I hate the fog. I hate the fog. Can I offer you a shiny Parasect in these trying times? I hear they're great at mind control. What letters do you still need? Did you end up trading those mons back from last night? The Giratina and the Arceus? Yeah. I did get a shiny Munchlax for my effort there, so, like, worked out for me. They did, yeah. They traded me back one of the rufflets that I caught when I had like a succession of like 4 to 5 rufflets. And then they just traded me a shiny Munchlax, which I was like, well, that's on the list. Check that off. Still at 31 left. Space-time distortion ones are going to suck, but the rest of them should be okay. Okay, I mean, I can't say no to Zorua. Like, if they're there, I'm just going to catch them. I literally don't need anything else there. What else do I need here? Eevee, Happiny, Chairman, Vespiquen. Well, I don't know why I'm thinking it's a great idea to try to find a female combi shiny. Like, that just seems more insane than getting the Vespiquen itself. But I mean, it is what it is. Hello. Hello, my lovely doggos. Hello, my big doggo. Can never go wrong with the Zorus. And then they're going to turn into Alpha Zoroarks. I lied. Alright, let's go up here. I do need to actually check the one Eevee spawn. You never know, it could be blue. Never mind, there's a giant goddamn Bidoof in the way. Decided it's living there now. Well, Sonny, if you have any duplicate shinies that I might need, I am more than willing to trade. Or do I have any Shalfas left? No. But I mean, I was gifted like 20 shinies, so... I'm always open to bargain. Unfortunately, I do too. So that's not exactly gonna help. This game, yeah. I have like 6 shiny Staraptors. I did have a bunch of shiny Golem and Graveler. And then someone really likes the color yellow. So they took all of them. If you have Unknown you're willing to trade, though, I would be down. Based on yesterday, I have now a second shiny Gabite that I could trade. Well, it's a female combi, it's just not shiny. Let's see. That's fair. Completely valid. I know I'm in the minority when I just don't mind trading. I have, I funny enough have two shiny unknowns, and they're both the letter H. So I don't, but I have the letter H twice. Now, what are the odds of getting between 1 out of 20? There's 26 different unknown. And the odds of getting the same one shiny is so astronomically low. I think a lottery ticket would be needed. Technically 28. Yeah. Okay, you also got the exclamation point and the fucking question mark. There is nowhere else to go here. What can I say? The letter H likes me. Turn to the village. Cricketot's level 84. Good for you, buddy. Let's get you back into your area so we can level up somebody else. Billy Bevel. Perfect. No worries. I'm like double checking my list just to be sure. I hate how I have 2 Detrixes and I need a Rowlet. So depressing. Are we looking pasture wise? We're getting close. Two hours. It technically should be done in an hour, but depends on what I'm feeling like. What is with all these birds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds. Prinplup is actually a chance. Prinplup is actually a decent chance there. I mean, we're getting to the point though where I should do the glitch. I gotta look it up again because I don't exactly remember. Well, you can tell, where are you? I got another cheese ball for you. Are doing a shiny living dex? Yeah. It's needed for the Path of Solitude. While I don't care about the shinies particularly, I have to do a ridiculous grind just to get everything to level 80 to do it. So that's been the only reason I've been grinding shinies. You're in the fucking way, Penguin. Normally just don't give a fuck about any of the shinies. The problem is because the Path of Solitude takes so long to do everything, it just makes more sense to grind. There's probably better ways to like level the Pokemon, but what I'm about to do probably makes it easy. Is there... Yeah. I don't know how many people would know this, but I do just want to be like, to ask just to be sure. Is there a limit to how much money you can have in this game? Does anyone know? Like, I'm thinking it's 9,999,999. Which technically we could test relatively soon. I probably have enough to do it. I'm gonna have to watch the video again. I think after this set, we'll do it. And then go from there. Look at it's more burbs. Shut that. Alright, are any of you going to be a slightly different color? The answer may surprise you. I would believe the answer to be no. You moved. Crazy. Alright. Now we gotta do our once around, and then we are probably all set to go. Alright, so now the next question as well is if, well, two questions. One, will Nikita show back up to the stream? And two, are they willing to pass with a shiny nose pass I know they have for another cheese ball? That's the question we ask ourselves today. So the problem is that nose pass is yellow, so it's very unlikely, but you never know. All right, I already know what's in that tree. I got that one committed to memory. A lot of seals over here. Okay. I think we're good. We'll just check our fish. I mean, I always gotta like just brush to the nine tails. You never know, it could be. I'm saving. Something in my bones just said, Kit, you better save. Perfecting the decks is so pointless. 85. It's a higher odd. It beats some of the other. It beats the other odds. The thing is, it beats the one out of 1,000, whatever. It beats the one out of 4,000. I mean, here's the thing, and once again, I'm in the minority of this. I don't give a shit about shiny Pokemon. I know, ironic based on what we're doing, but like I said, I think there's a better reason for doing it in this game compared to other games. And there's never a reason to grind shiny Pokemon after you get the shiny charm in a game, or like just when you're done with the game, because there's usually nothing left. Like after you get a shiny charm, you've already done everything that you needed to do in the game. And I would argue that's the same in this game, except for the fact there's the Path of Solitude, which while it's completely pointless to even do, I'm a completionist, and my completionist senses are like, yo, you should finish up that the game by doing all the Path of Solitude stuff. That involves getting every single one of your Pokemon from anywhere to level 80 to level 100. So, what's his Path of Solitude? I can show you in a moment. Let me do the once around, because it feels like it's such a a thing that's not really known in this game. I don't think too many people have done it, which is why I'm doing it, because I want to start making videos and stuff, and I think doing a lesser known part of the game that doesn't matter seems just like a funny thing to do. Those are 2 Luminions right there. That double scream, 2 of them. And a Alpha Finneon. Wow. Alright. So let me just do my once around real quick, and then we should be fine. The one's over there. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Remoraid. One of these days we'll find a pink Remoraid. It's nighttime though. When it's nighttime and there's Drifloon out, it just really takes the wind out of the sails. Alright, let's go do the glitch here. Oh, I gotta pull this up on my phone. Glitch. Yeah. Ah, okay. Alright, so let's show off the Path of Solitude, because this is once again the entire reason why we're doing everything that I'm doing. So if you go over here, this is part of the Fire Break update that they did, or Fire whatever. You have this person in the middle, I forgot her name, Zizu. You could do like mastery stuff with her, as well as like combining your dust, your grit stuff. But you got Ingo here, and if you talk to Ingo, you can do a regular Pokemon battle, Path of Tenacity, and the Path of Solitude. You can do a regular Pokemon battle, and I think you end up fighting like him, and you just get some like weak experience for it. You can do Path of Tenacity, where so the regular Pokemon battle, you get to choose who you go up against, and they will give you like they each have 3 Pokemon, and you can get experience from it. So this would be like a good way to grind experience, because battles will give you more experience than like the wild Pokemon one. And there's a lot of stuff like you Ingo, but tougher. And then like up to rest. Then the Path of Tenacity, which is you fight 3 members of a team or clan. I think this also gets you like quite a bit of experience, but these are good like experience grinds. However, there's the Path of Solitude. It pits you of one of your Pokemon against a Pokemon of my choosing. He will always choose the same Pokemon. It'll be the same level. It'll have the same EVs, and it'll have the same moves. And the point of the Path of Solitude is you have to solve the puzzle on how to beat his Pokemon. You can check your records. I've done it with 1 different Pokemon, and you get more prizes the more you do it. if I recall correctly, that's not it. I believe the only one we did it for was Low Putty. Yeah. So by doing the Path of Solitude, you get that mark on the right side of that little Pokeball with the flare. That shows you beat their Path of Solitude and solve the puzzle to win the fight. Every single Pokemon has this. Every single Pokemon has a Path of Solitude fight. What you can do is you could definitely go to Cerebi, or with what I'm wanting to do is make a video that like goes through each one into separate chunks on like how you would beat it. But I think the true test of it is losing quite a bit and then figuring out what the play is and solving the puzzle from there. I think that's much more. I perfected Dex on every Pokemon in this game. Yeah, no, I perfected Dex on everybody. Yeah. Everything's perfected. So you can, I'm just going to do it individually so you can see all the shiny stuff. But yeah, no, I perfected everything. But yeah, the Path of Solitude, I'm interested in doing all of that because there's even a quest in the game where you have to beat the Path of Solitude with Magikarp. And Magikarp only knows Splash, so I like this whole like puzzle idea. I think it's really, really cool. The thing is, minimum, your Pokemon need to be level 80. And if you want to have an easier time, obviously you level them up to 100. The easiest way to do that is to get money to buy the candy, like the extra large candies, feed them to your Pokemon, and then go from there. That's the best way to do it. So how do we do this? And I'm just going to show off that I have perfected the rest of these. But I will show off how we are going to do that, hence the title of the stream from yesterday and today. Spend a lot of time in this game? Yeah. And like I said, the only reason I'm doing the shiny version of all this is because this already was going to take a whole lot of time anyway. So I felt like it made more sense to grind the shinies off stream or like on stream, because I have to get all of them up to level 80 on 100 anyway. I have to grind all the grit, gravel, and dust and all that sort of stuff. It just makes more sense to do this. I'm going to have to watch the video again because I don't remember how to do it, but... and then obviously I do have the shiny versions of these from 2013. So if I go back to here, I think there might be an origin form of this. Tech Completionist, yeah. So I do want to show that off, but what we're going to do, I got to remember how to do this. So give me 1 second. I'm going to mute for a sec. Okay. So I'm going to save before I do this because, yeah, as you can see, I've almost had like 500 hours in this game. So I played a lot. Okay, so the way it works, I always forget the start of this. So you have to talk to Ingo specifically. and you go to select Pokemon. We're going to go to our pasture here. And we need to release 2 Pokemon of particular levels. So this Drifloon is actually going to be perfect. So we are going to release this guy first. And then we are going to release this Drifloon. The best way to do it is because you're going to be essentially overwriting data values is how this glitch essentially works. So by releasing 2 Pokemon, it really just sets up like that we're going to be kind of overwriting Grit Dust is what the plan is. So now I'm going to release almost everybody else. I say almost everybody because we want to get as much as we possibly can. And Sunny, if you've never seen this before, get ready because this is powerful stuff. Okay, how many boxes are we at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll do 2 more boxes. Ad break, no worries. Back. Cool. No, I don't want to release that one. All right. Have you seen this before, Sunny? I would imagine so, but if not, get ready. Okay. So we released the first 2 Pokemon. I think the second one being anywhere between 15 and 25 is specifically to like have a chance to do Grit Dust. But we are going to release all of these Pokemon. And then we are going to back out. We should have 91 stacks of Grit Gravel, 14 stacks of Grit Dust. The low amount of Grit Dust is going to suck, but it will get there. 76 Grit Rocks and 118 Grit Pebbles. Now, we got to go back to select Pokemon. We're going to release a single Sliggoo. And by doing this, Grit Pebble, 14 stacks of Grit Dust, 76 Grit Rocks, and 118 Grit Pebbles. Then we release another one. And we get to Grit Rock. 14 stacks of Grit Dust, 76 Grit Rocks, and 118 Grit Pebbles. And we can just keep on doing this. So, exploit? Yes, it is. This is a glitch because Ingo is not normally supposed to be a person who you're supposed to release Pokemon through, so the game's getting really confused by, like, I think everything that you end up doing. So this is how you can essentially get as much money as you want. We're going to test this a little bit further than I normally would, because normally I would go for like 999 on both in a bag and not. But I'm going to release this entire box. How many did you release the first time? So you release 1 Pokemon of like any level. And then the second one, if you want it to override Grit Dust, do any Pokemon between level 15 and 25 for like the highest chance for it to overwrite Grit Dust. If you want it to be the Gravel, anywhere from 25 to 35. I don't recommend anything higher than that as the second Pokemon. Otherwise, you're going to be overriding stuff that's worth a whole lot of money. Then you release, I release 10 boxes full of Pokemon. Most videos will like say 9 boxes is good enough. And then usually you just want to like keep releasing until you get like 999 in both like the bag and in the box. And this keeps going as long as you don't back out of Ingo's menu. So I'm doing this for 2 reasons, actually. You'll actually see why in a moment. Because yes, we are doing this to get a whole bunch of money to buy experience candies, but there is actually another reason why we're doing this. Unfortunately, our stacks of grit dust is low, but it should still be fine for what we're trying to do. Because I've had a theory about this, and now that I have a better understanding of how it works, this could be great. I recommend looking it up. It's the Ingo glitch is what people would call it. But we're testing getting rid of a full box because this should be more. We should have more than 1,000 or like 2,000 grit pebbles by doing this. So I want to see what happens to the rest of them if they get converted into money, or if they just go off to everything else. No problem. So there's two reasons why we're doing this, and I'm pointing this out because like some people are probably not happy about the fact that I'm like trading Pokemon. There's people are probably not happy that I'm using my high school Pokemon for this sort of thing. Do I care? No, not even a little bit. And people are probably not happy I'm doing like an exploit and such. First off, getting all the Pokemon to the proper level, we need money. That's just the long and short of it. Secondly, we also need grit dust. We need to max out all of the EVs on every Pokemon that I end up using. Like that is something that we need to do. We need a shit ton of grit dust. We need a shit ton of pebbles. We need a shit ton of gravel. Not that many rocks, right? So my theory is while you could do this to get as much money as you want, what you could also do is if you start this, right, by releasing something that's like from a space-time distortion, like anything higher than 60, the grit rocks will be replaced with like grit dust or something. So if you want to do this trick to get as much grit dust as possible because you're higher level, so grit dust is like not going to be as prevalent, this would be a perfect way to get an infinite grit dust now that you're like in the end game. Because otherwise you'd have to catch like hundreds of Pokemon in the Obsidian Fieldlands. But if you just end up doing the inverse, you'll have a bunch of grit dust and grit gravel and not that many grit rocks. And you don't need that many grit rocks. Because you only need 6 grit rocks per Pokemon, but you need 27? Wait, 3 times 6. 18. I don't know why I said 27. You need 18 of the dust, gravel, and pebbles for each Pokemon that you want to raise up. So I think this is just overall better. Also, do I like answering hypotheticals? Absolutely. Just because people like to bitch and moan about everything all the time, and I'm used to it from Dead by Daylight, and I'm used to it from games I've streamed in the past. So I like to answer them all before they even get asked. Would you believe it if I said I was a Splatoon streamer, first off? All of the complaining from back then. Good times. Alright. So we definitely have more than 2,000 grit pebbles. I don't know how many rocks we have, but we definitely have more grit pebbles than we should have in our inventory. So this is gonna confirm if you have to like keep doing the math on everything, or if it's like if it just gets sold because you have so many of them. One more. And technically I can keep this going. So just to show this off. Like I still have a whole box and almost 2 boxes full. All right, so we're gonna back out. 999 grit pebbles were sent to your storage since there's no room. Grit rocks as well. They did not get converted to money. As you can see, that's pretty full. And then I'll just go over here. Okay, so it did not overflow, it just caps out. I kind of wish you could buy jet balls or gigaton. I don't think they're worth it. I think you should just stick with ultra balls and just buy a ludicrous amount of them. Okay, so now comes the fun stuff. And this is probably going to be the rest of the stream. Let's see. How much time do I have? I haven't caught a new shiny at all, but based on the fact I have to wake up hella early, this is just better. Alright, so how much does this sell for? Ah, yes. 3 million. Perfect. How much do you sell for? 800,000. That's fine. How much do you sell for? Okay. I want to keep, if I can, keep like 499. And then I'm going to keep you around for a bit. Okay. I could probably do this next part off stream, but also I just don't care right now. So now we have $6 million. That's cool. So yeah, I guess you only need, what, 11 boxes if you really want to do that. I will take, can get 132. We can get 90 of these. And then just go back over here. We can do 4. 5. 574. Cool. And then 420. Is that really 420? Hell yeah. All right, cool. Grab you, grab you, grab you. I guess we just have some default rare candies in here. Now we just level up everything to insane degrees. And that's like the big thing, right? Is just this Oshawott. Let's give you like 50 of these. Let's see what happens. See, like these don't give you that nearly that much. Okay, like 83. We'll give you 80. That's fine. All right, I may have overdone it. You definitely 80. All right, pretty good. And then Mothman will just get 23. These small ones. Let's just be real. All right, Parasect. I'm going to give you 10. You go from 34. You grew 35 levels. You grew 35 levels. I think this is a good idea. don't know what's giving this away. Let's get Cheeseball over here. Put you in the extra spot. So, just a good idea to do. I'll name everything later. But I also need to, like, once again, I need to get all the EVs set up with all this. So I think the best way to do that would be just doing the same thing, but having a higher level Pokemon. Like doing that with a higher level Pokemon than a lower. Like doing the inverse of what I just did. But as you can see, like everyone's around level 80 and has max EVs. I don't know with Scarlet and Violet, like if there's maybe an easier way to do the EV stuff. Like that was something I was like considering. It's good. Gravel's good. Sect is good. Weirdeer. Munchlax. Snorlax is good. Kazam. Oh, Kadabra. Okay. Yeah, so, and then now I could just go and be like, well, Weirdeer, let's get you, let's go 16. Let's see where we go. Not bad. We'll do 4. That's good enough. Perfect. You, I think I want to do 12. I'm amazing. And then just get to do all this. And here's the thing, maxing out all their EVs and everything is actually required if you want to like be able to do the Path of Solitude efficiently. Like I know how to beat Magikarp's one, and the only way to beat Magikarp's is to be a high enough level with max EVs. There's no other way. Like that's what's insane about this stuff is like you have to be knowledgeable, like you have to like write down everything that you need to do if you want to make this all work for the Path of Solitude. Yeah, you could look it up. And like I said, I'm going to make a video on it so that way I can help people out who decide years later that they want to get it taken care of. But I like completing like lesser known stuff in games. Cause like I like going for true 100%. I don't like going for just like the achievements and then just calling it there and like not even finishing the rest of the game. Like it doesn't feel fulfilling to me. I did not grab any pebbles or rocks, did I? Go figure. Yeah, and the reason I have so little grit gravel is just because that was the thing that was overwritten compared to the grit dust. Like normally grit dust would be the one that gets overwritten when you're doing the glitch, but I think we just hit barely grit gravel, so that became what was being used. Now I could just do all this. The thing is, once again, I still have to keep grinding for more Pokemon, though, so I can keep getting more Pokemon to be able to get more of the stuff. I think next time, because I don't really need... So money is not that big of an issue right now. Right now, I think the bigger issue is just getting enough, like, of the grit stuff to get it taken care of. I could probably make a calculator on an Excel sheet to figure out how much more I need. But I'm, like, once again, I was, like, thinking of, like, how I want to go about this because I don't want to be streaming Arceus for the rest of my life while figuring this all out. I think doing it in chunks of, like, 60 is the best way to go about it. The problem is, our first boxes make that really tough. I will show why in a moment. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Is it really going to be that difficult if I focus? Hold on, after I do this, I gotta check something. Because I have a sneaking suspicion I can make this so much easier next time I play this. Congratulations, they all did great. Hold on. So what do I need for the first 60? I think is the big question. Just need to level you up. I need 4 more Eevees, right? Eevee, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Glaceon, and then a Rowlet, right? And then obviously leveling them up. Is there anyone who's not level? No. Hold on, we can make this so much easier. Because right now, out of everybody for like the first 2 boxes, if I want to, because otherwise it's going to be like a 4-hour video of just Pokemon fights. What if we just look for the ones in these first 2 pages? So that would involve getting 4 Eevees. But there's a way we can cheese that, right? So I'm dipping into my Pokemon knowledge, but I might go on Cerebi just to like confirm my suspicions. I know that Cherubi and Eevee show up as mass outbreaks in the Obsidian Fieldlands. How much time do I have? 25 minutes? It's got an idea. That was close. this will be everything from that first area. And then we can do Monferno. Chi back here. Where did I put my other team? Where did they go? That makes more sense. I was like, I seem to be missing a lot of Pokemon. Hold on. I got, what, I got 30 minutes to kill? Okay. I mean, it makes more sense just to, like, check for everything. But if we're really, really focusing on just a few, we could just keep going in and out until we, like, see the Eevee and the Cherubi stuff. I don't need any of these. Hold on. There might be a way. There might be. Here's the thing. I don't know if Rowlet shows up. Sunny, do you happen to know if Rowlet has its own separate mass outbreak? Like, not the massive mass outbreaks, just a mass outbreak. I don't think it does. I only know MMO. That's fair. I think it is just massive mass outbreaks. But that's still viable. Because while we still can just explore some of the other stuff, right? The other massive mass outbreaks and go from there. I think the easiest way to do this would be just trying to have a mass outbreak trigger. Right? Because I know Eevee has one. That's how we caught a shiny Eevee yesterday. And I know Cherubi does, too. Sorry, we're going to try this for a little bit. Specifically because this would be... Because this gets us at least everything from 1 to 60, and then I don't have to worry about... Then I can take a break from this game for a little bit. No, I don't need to do this. Because I have, once again, there's so much other stuff that I want to get taken care of. So I don't want to be just playing this game and getting everything out of the way. There is a single Rowlet. Is there anything else that I need out of these? The answer is no. Let's see if the kit luck happens. And then same thing with Basculin. Because I believe that the chances for a mass outbreak... I think the chances of a shiny in a mass outbreak is 1 out of 128. I think. Massive mouse outbreaks are the 1 out of 500 something. That's right, be shocked. I'm catching your kin. Oh no. Ridiculous. Everything seems to be gone. But I think that's still fine. Because that's still going to add for potential totals later. I just don't know if... I don't think there's a mass outbreak of Rowlet. But we can still just keep going back and forth. I mean, if there's also something else I need, we can go there. No. I think it's only also worth it if I go to, like, only get Rowlets. Because that should add to my total. And then once again, if I find an Eevee or a Cherubi outbreak, then we can go from there. And then I just go here. So this is the boring part, because it's essentially just going back and forth. But this will probably be the best chance I have. I'm essentially doing what you're doing to try to get the shelf of Ninetales. But I'm just doing it on a smaller scale for the outbreaks. I looked at the Alabaster Icelands and I was like, nope. It was only... The other thing that's going to suck, though, is Burmy. Burmies are going to suck. Like, I don't need to get the trash ones, but I want to because... Makes sense. Wow. What a spread. Every place has a mass outbreak or a massive mass outbreak. I mean, we could still just, like, look around and try finding something else. But I feel like this is just a better option for what we're trying to do. I'm trying to, like, specifically focus. But also, I'm still trying to get, like, a whole bunch of experience stuff for later. So it doesn't entirely matter, but this is just... I just want to test this just to see a theory. Wow. I was considering the Shellos for a minute because I need a Blue Gastrodon. Alright, I'm going to give this one more time. Just because, like, it's an idea, but I don't think it, like, needs to be done, right? Okay, well, I'll go for the Sweenubs while they're there. But I think this would be a good way to, like, really focus which ones I need. But I don't think I want to do that just yet. I think what I would rather do is still do what I've been doing. So that way I can still get money to buy experience candy stuff, as well as getting grit, gravel, and dust for the rest of the Pokemon. We'll calculate how much extra I'm going to still need, but we'll go from there. Alright, does one of you want to become yellow? These mass outbreaks usually are pretty good, though. Sometimes they're bad, though. Because I think the mass outbreaks are just better overall. There's a Sweenub somewhere. That's fine. I don't know, there's always a potential. I'm just gonna go check the Basculin areas real quick. And then, see, there's an Eevee right there. That was an alpha basculin. For anyone who just heard that noise, that was an alpha basculin that wanted to devour everything. Okay. Go check Mamoswine real quick. This is the point where we get the shell from Mamoswine, and then it's just like such a non-issue. I'm just kidding. That's what we call tempting fate. So I still think the best way to go about it's the mass outbreaks, just because that gives us as many chances as possible to get the other Pokemon that we need. And then that way we at least have everything that I need for everything else. Alex Pokedex, nice. The other thing that sucks is shiny Burmy and shiny Wormadam. Your shelf on my alt account, nice. So I think, yeah, I need to come up with like a better game plan, but I do have an idea for the game plan. Okay. So let's go back to Jubilife, and then I'll break down what the game plan is going to be. Because I'll still be streaming this game for quite some time until I get at least the first 60 done. Just once again, there's other stuff that I gotta get done too. So a lot of stuff to balance. Okay, so ultimately the goal is to get every single one of these. By the way, here's H, and also just to prove it, here's H. I do legitimately have 2 H unknowns. They're great. I'm going to grab you, actually, because you're going to be what I use to figure this out. Question. Did I max you out? No. Where do you go? That's a great question. Where do you go? Right here, I'm guessing? Does Cleavor go before Caesar? Hold on. This is when we gotta check the Pokedex. Cleavor does go before Caesar. That seems weird. Okay. Fluffy. Useless. Tailory. Okay. So. I need to figure out how many Pokemon I still need to catch for shinies, and also how much dust I'm going to need, how much gravel, how much pebbles, and how many rocks. But that is not a task for tonight because I have work super early in the morning that it's just a really bad idea if I decide, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to just calculate and do math on stream. It's going to be great. Duff-de-doo. I'm glad that I'm great at names. Duff. I'm also going to name everything that I can. I don't think... Let me just double check. Yeah, I can't change the name of, like... to getting off. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting off here because I have to be awake in 4 hours before my shift. And it's only midnight, so that should tell you that I'm having a really, really early shift. Like, extremely early. So when it comes to Arceus, I will spend... Thanks for the stream. No problem. For Arceus, I'm going to do all the math to figure out how much more of all of the EV items I need, as well as how much I'm going to need for the Pokemon that I've yet to, like, get their shiny version for. Just assuming that it's zeros across the board and not any of this random shit. Like that's gonna be the idea. Did I not play at all yesterday? Or did I just not click this? I just didn't click this. Let's go. Sorry. I also have dailies that I'm gonna have to be doing tonight. So I'll calculate all this and just figure that out so that way I can kind of hold that off on the side. In all honesty, I could probably just start getting a bunch of getting all the dust and everything that I have and just start using them on all of these just to get the ball rolling. There's a lot, so this will take some time, but I need to do it. Then I think I still stick with what I've been doing, which is going from massive mass outbreak to massive mass outbreak, just trying to catch whatever we can, but offering trades whenever we see that it's possible. Such as like nose pass, right? Or if I can trade like a Craniados and Rampardos. The big thing though is the rest of the evolutions, so Glaceon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, as well as Eevee, as well as Rowlet, are our high priority targets. That way I can actually get everything, get them taken care of, get to level 60, and then I don't have to worry about grinding for all of this stuff. And then once we're done with a Pokemon, I'm going to move it to Pokemon Home, just so that way we know that we're done with them and we don't have to worry about moving forward with them. Really the hard ones are going to be anything that is in a space-time distortion, but there's also the other Burmies, the Burmy and the Wormadam, the trash ones. Because while I have grass and I have sand, I don't have trash. And I might have to get a group effort on trying to get those, because it's just going to be a pain. Alolan Ninetales and Alolan Vulpix, I'll worry about those later. As for like Darkrai, Shaman, Arceus, Fiona, Manaphy, as well as pretty much all the other legendaries, I still want to stick to what I said and try to do this all with like shinies. So if we need to grind these out, I will, just for consistency's sake. Though I have an idea on how to make this a lot easier for at least Heatran, Regigigas, and Cresselia, as well as Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. I think there's an easier way. I'm just going to have to look into it. Fiona Manaphy, on the other hand, they're going to be fun to deal with. But I have ideas. So the first thing I want to do, absolutely, is get the first 60 done. Then that's the next 60. Then that's the next 60. And then this would be the rest, right? Plus 2. Yeah. So, cool. So tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will be streaming when I get home from work. That's the good news. I probably will stream Hades. And then we'll go from there. I might actually do more Arceus tomorrow, so that way I can just start getting everything taken care of there. Scarlet and Violet, though, is on my radar, so I gotta keep an eye out for that, too. So, there's a lot. There's a lot to do. I have ideas, so it should be fine. Also, I have a lot of counting to do tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Anyway, with that all being said, I thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, night, or evening. Of course, my name is Katafi, and I'll see you all next time for some more Ready Gaming. See you later. Peace. Bye, everyone.